Hi, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning everyone. So last week we have learned about ratio, rates and proportion. So harapnya semua orang dah siapkan ada 3 exercises and we have topical test, okay? And this week kita akan sambung dengan applying numbers and using calculator. So you can use calculator for this week punya topic. For today, we will learn about unit of measurements, converting between metric units and time, okay? So this one you already learned during primary school. So this week punya topik simple je lah. And untuk hari Khamis, we will learn about currency conversion and using a calculator efficiently, okay? And not to forget, hari Rabu kita akan ada kemahiran asas punya penilaian untuk matematik. So be ready. I have already told you about the topics. Okay. So for today, kita ada 5 learning objective. Nak decide which units to use when measuring length, width and capacity. The second one, convert between units including units of area and volume. The third one, convert from one metric unit to another. The fourth one, use the 12 and 24-hour clock. And the last one, solve problems involving time and timetables. Okay, so for this topic, ada dalam IGCSE dengan checkpoint. And you have learned this topic during your primary school lah. So dalam buku teks KSSM Form 1 tak ada topik ni. But you have learned it during your primary school, okay? So, okay, contohnya situasi dalam kelas ni. Kita nak tahu nak guna metric units yang mana. Contoh, ketinggian John. Okay, so ketinggian John mestilah kita guna sentimeter. Okay, meter pun boleh juga, tapi selalunya kita akan guna sentimeter. Tapi takkan guna milimeter lah sebab kecil sangat. Okay, contoh lain, berat seekor kucing. Berat seekor kucing kita boleh guna kilogram atau gram. Kalau anak kucing kita akan use gram for kittens. Okay, and then this one, the water. What is the capacity of the water? Kita akan guna liter, mililiter, centiliter. Okay, and next one, the volume in the box. Okay, kita akan jadi centimeter cube. Okay, that's all lah. Yang tu kita kena tahu nak guna apa untuk apa. Dan next, ini kita akan belajar convert. You have learned this during your primary school. So most of this topic macam kita buat revision sahaja. Okay, next I have combined this 5 video. So you have to watch till the end and make sure make your own notes in a paper ataupun kalau nak buat buku untuk SEM 2 pun boleh juga. But if not, just use paper macam biasa. And then you can continue with 5 question. Kita ada 5 soalan saja hari ini, okay?
In this video, we're going to look at how to convert between different metric units for length. Here we've got a ruler. We've got 50 centimeters and 51 centimeters, 52 centimeters and so on. Each one of the smaller lines represents a millimeter. In 1 centimeter, there's 10 millimeters. That's quite an important fact you might need to know for your maths exams. Here also we have got a ruler. This ruler has got 100 centimeters and it's a meter ruler. That means that 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Also, here we've got a road sign. And quite often, whenever you measure distances between cities, at very large distances, you will use kilometers. The word kilo means 1,000, so that means each kilometer is 1,000 meters. So let's have a look at that. So here we've got millimeters. So to go from millimeters to centimeters, you divide by 10. For instance, 80 millimeters would be 8 centimeters, so you divide by 10. To convert between millimeters and centimeters, you divide by 100. For instance, as we know, 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. To convert between meters and kilometers, you divide by 1,000. So, for instance, 1,000 meters would be 1 kilometer. 1,000 divided by 1,000 is equal to 1. See? Now, let's have a look at how to go the other way. So, for instance, if we want to go from kilometers to meters, you times by 1,000. To go from meters to centimeters, you times by 100. And to go from centimeters to millimeters, you times by 10. Let's have a look at some typical questions. So the first question says convert 7 centimeters into millimeters. So to go from centimeters to millimeters, you're going to times by 10. So 7 centimeters times by 10 is equal to 70 millimeters. Next, convert 19 centimeters into millimeters. So again, to go from centimeters to millimeters, you times by 10. So 19 times 10 is equal to 190. So the answer would be 190 millimeters. So to convert any centimeters measurement into millimeters, you times by 10. Now we're going to look at going the other way. So to go from millimeters to centimeters, you divide by 10. So to convert 80 millimeters into centimeters, well, you do 80 divided by 10. And 80 divided by 10 is 8. So that means that 80 millimeters is equal to 8 centimeters. And finally, 14 millimeters. So again, to go from millimeters to centimeters, you divide by 10. So we're going to do 14 divided by 10. And 14 divided by 10 is 1.4. So the answer would be 1.4 centimeters. Okay, now we're going to convert between meters and centimeters. So to go, first question is to convert 3 meters into centimeters. So to go from meters into centimeters, you times by 100. So 3 meters, well, 3 times 100 is equal to 300 centimeters. Next, convert 2.2 meters into centimeters. So to go from meters to centimeters, you times by 100. So 2.2 times 100 would be equal to, well, move the decimal place twice, so 220. So 220 centimeters. Next, convert 500 centimeters into meters. So to go from centimeters into meters, you divide by 100. So we're going to do 500 divided by 100, and 500 divided by 100 is equal to 5. So that's going to be 5 meters. And finally, convert 750 centimeters into meters. So again, to go from centimeters to meters, you divide by 100. So we're going to do 750 divided by 100. Whenever we do that, we move the decimal place twice, 1, 2, so that'll be 7.5. So 750 centimeters is 7.5 meters. Next, now we're going to go between kilometers and meters. So first question, convert 4 kilometers into meters. So to go from kilometers into meters, you times by 1,000. Remember, kilo means 1,000. So we're going to do 4 times 1,000, and that's equal to 4,000 meters. So 4 kilometers is equal to 4,000 meters. Next, convert 12.3 kilometers into meters. Again, to go from kilometers into meters, you times by 1,000. So 12.3 times by 1,000. Remember, we're going to move the decimal place 3 times. So 1 would be 123. Then add 2 zeros on would be 12,300. So that means that 12.3 kilometers is equal to 12,300 meters. Next, convert 8,000 meters into kilometers. So to go from meters to kilometers, you divide by 1,000. So we're going to do 8,000 divided by 1,000, and that's equal to 8 kilometers. And finally, convert 7,500 meters into kilometers. So again, you divide by 1,000. 7,500 divided by 1,000. Well, move the decimal place 3 times. 1, 2, 3. That's equal to 7.5 kilometers. Okay, next. Convert 3 kilometers into centimeters. Now, as you note this time, we're going to have to go from kilometers, then into meters, and then into centimeters. So let's convert our 3 kilometers into meters first of all. So that's 3 kilometers times by, well, to go from kilometers into meters, you times by 1,000. So times by 1,000 would equal 3,000 meters. Next, we need to go from meters into centimeters. So to go from meters into centimeters, you times by 100. So we're going to do our 3,000 times 100. Well, add on your 2 zeros onto your 3,000. Well, that would give you 300,000. So the answer would be 300,000 centimeters. Next, convert 1 kilometer into millimeters. So this time we need to go from kilometers to meters to centimeters to millimeters. So first of all, let's take our 1 kilometer and times it by 1,000. Well, 1 times 1,000 is equal to 1,000 meters. Next, we want to go from meters into centimeters. So we're going to times by 100. So we're going to do 1,000 times 100. That's equal to 100,000 centimeters. And finally, we want to go from our 100,000 into millimeters. So we're going to times by 10. Centimeters to millimeters, you times by 10. So we're going to do 100,000 times 10 is equal to 1 million. So that means that in 1 kilometer, there's 1 million millimeters. And our last question is to convert 42 millimeters into meters. So we're going to go from millimeters into centimeters by dividing by 10. And then we're going to go from centimeters into meters by dividing by 100. So first of all, let's take our 42 millimeters and divide it by 10 to go into centimeters. So That's equal to 4.2 centimeters. Next, we want to go from our centimeters into meters, so we divide by 100. So we're going to do 4.2 divided by 100. Remember, that means we're going to move the decimal place twice. So move it once, it would be 0.42. Move it again would be 0.042 meters. So that means that 42 millimeters is equal to 0.042 meters. In this video, we're going to look at how to convert between different metric units for mass, so such as grams, kilograms, and tons. So, to convert between different metric units for mass, such as grams, kilograms, and tons, this is how you do it. So, to go from grams to kilograms, you divide by 1,000. For instance, 1,000 grams is 1 kilogram. To convert between kilograms and tons, you also divide by 1,000. So, for instance, 1,000 kilograms is 1 ton. To convert between tons and kilograms, you times by 1,000. So 3 tons would be 3,000 kilograms. And to convert between kilograms and grams, you times by 1,000. So for instance, 4 kilograms would be 4,000 grams. Okay, let's have a look at some typical questions. So, convert 2 kilograms into grams. So to go from kilograms to grams, you times by 1,000. So you do 2 times 1,000. And 2 times 1,000 is equal to 2,000 grams. Next, to convert 1.6 kilograms into grams. So again, to go from kilograms to grams, you times by 1,000. So you do 1.6 times 1,000. And when you do 1.6 times 1,000, you would get 1,600. So the answer would be 1,600 grams. Next, convert 6,000 grams into kilograms. So this time we're going from grams into kilograms. So this time we're going to divide by 1,000. So 6,000 divided by 1,000 would be equal to 6 kilograms. And finally, convert 800 grams into kilograms. So to convert from grams to kilograms, you divide by 1,000. So you're going to do 800 divided by 1,000. And 800 divided by 1,000 would be 0.8. So the answer would be 0.8 kilograms. Okay, now we're going to include some tons into these. So convert 4 tons into kilograms. So to go from tons to kilograms, you times by 1,000. So we're going to do 4 times 1,000, which would be equal to 4,000 kilograms. So that means that 4 ton is 4,000 kilograms. Convert 1.8 tons into kilograms. So again, to convert from tons to kilograms, you times by 1,000. So 1.8 times 1,000 would be equal to 1,800 kilograms. Okay? This time, convert 2,000 kilograms into tons. So to go from kilograms to tons, you divide by 1,000. So we're going to do 2,000 divided by 1,000. Oh, well, that's going to be equal to 2 tons. And finally, convert 1,700 kilograms into tons. Again, to convert from kilograms to tons, you divide by 1,000. So we're going to do 1,700 divided by 1,000. And that would be, take off the 2 zeros, put the decimal point in, 1.7. So it'd be 1.7 tons. Okay, now let's look at what happens if we're going from grams to tons and so on. So convert 3 million grams into tons. So to convert from grams into tons, we're going to have to convert it into kilograms first of all, by dividing by 1,000. And then to convert from kilograms to tons, we're going to divide by another 1,000. So first of all, let's take our 3 million grams and divide it by 1,000. So dividing by 1,000 takes off 3 zeros, so 1, 2, 3, that would leave you with 3,000 kilograms. So I've just converted from grams to kilograms. Now I want to go from kilograms to tons, so I'm going to divide by another 1,000. So I'm going to do 3,000 divided by 1,000, which would be equal to 3 tons. So 3 million grams is 3 tons. And finally, convert 4.5 tons into grams. So go from tons to grams, you're going to do times by 1,000 to get it into kilograms, and times by another 1,000. So we're going to do 4.5 times 1,000 to get our 4.5 tons into kilograms, which would be 4,500. And times by another 1,000, so we're going to do, that's kilograms. And to go from kilograms into grams, we're going to times by another 1,000, so we're going to do 4,500 times 1,000. And that would be, adding on your 3 zeros, 4,500, and 3 more zeros, 1, 2, 3, would be 4,500,000 grams. And that's it. In this video, we're going to look at how to convert between metric units for capacity. Here we've got some examples of metric units for capacity. You've got milliliters, so if you're measuring something in the kitchen, or for instance a can of juice. Small bottles of juice would also be measured in milliliters. Larger bottles would be liters, and then bigger containers, such as the sink and so on, would be liters, fish tanks, that type of thing, liters. Then here we've got a rucksack. A rucksack is also measured in liters. That's the capacity of it. Okay, so let's go how to convert between them. So some of the common ones are milliliters to liters. Remember that the word milli means thousandth. So that means that a milliliter is a thousandth of a litre. So to convert between milliliters to litres, you would divide by 1,000. So for instance, 8,000 milliliters divided by 1,000 would be 8 litres. And likewise, to convert between litres to milliliters, you would times by 1,000. So if you had 4 litres times 1,000, that would be 4,000 milliliters. Some other ones you may see are milliliters and centiliters. So to convert between milli, which means milli, remember, is a thousandth, and a centi is a hundredth of a litre. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to divide by 10 to go from a milliliter to a centiliter. And conversely, to go from centiliters to milliliters, you would times by 10. So for instance, if you had 23 centiliters, that would be 230 milliliters. And then to go back again, you would divide by 10. Let's look at some examples. So here we've got to convert 3 litres into milliliters. So 3 litres, to go from litres to milliliters, you times by 1,000. So it'd be 3 times 1,000, which would be equal to 3,000 milliliters. Next, convert 0.8 litres into milliliters. So to go from litres to milliliters, remember, times by 1,000. So we've got 0.8 times by 1,000. So whenever you times a 0.8 by 1,000, you move the decimal place 3 times, 8, 80, 800. So the answer would be 800 milliliters. Okay, now let's look at how to convert between milliliters to litres. So convert 7,000 milliliters into litres. So to go from milliliters to litres, you divide by 1,000. So we're going to do 7,000 milliliters divided by 1,000 is equal to 7 litres. And finally, let's convert 3,250 milliliters into litres. So to go from milliliters to litres, you divide by 1,000. So 3,250 divided by 1,000, that would be 1, 2, 3. That would be 3.25 litres. Okay. And finally, let's look at converting some milliliters into centiliters and vice versa. So convert 33 centiliters into milliliters. So to go from centiliters to milliliters, you times by 10. So we're going to do 33 times 10, well, that would be 330 milliliters. Convert 5 centiliters into milliliters. To go from centiliters to milliliters, you times by 10. So it's going to be 5 times 10, that's equal to 50. So the answer would be 50 milliliters. Convert 500 milliliters into centiliters. So to go from milliliters to centiliters, you divide by 10. So it's going to be 500 divided by 10, well, it's going to be equal to 50 centiliters. And finally, convert 3,250 milliliters into centiliters. Again, to go from milliliters to centiliters, you divide by 10. So it's 3,250 divided by 10, well, it's going to be 325 centiliters. And that's it. In this video, we're going to look at how to convert between metric units for volume. So here I've drawn 2 cubes, one of them with side length 1 meter, and another one with side length 100 centimeters. Now obviously these are the same because 1 meter is 100 centimeters. What I'm going to do now is just work out the volume for each of them. So if the width of this one is 1 meter, then the height of it is 1 meter, and the depth of it is 1 meter. So the volume would be 1 meter times 1 meter times 1 meter, which would be the volume would be 1 meter cubed. So this is 1 meter cube. This cube, the volume of it's going to be, well, it's going to be 100 centimeters by 100 centimeters by 100 centimeters. And when I times those together, 100 times 100 times 100, we're going to get 1 followed by 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the volume for this one is going to be 1 million centimeters cubed. That means that 1 meter cubed is the same as 1 million centimeters cubed. Let's just check it with another pair of cubes. So here we've got 2 meters, but it's going to be 2 meters and 2 meters. Times them together would be 8 meters cubed. Remember, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8 meters cubed. This one would be 200 times 200 times 200. Well, that's going to be 2 times 2 times 2, 8, followed by 6 zeros. There's going to be 8 million centimeters cubed. So again, you will see that conversion rate of 1 meter cubed is 1 million centimeters cubed. So that's the conversion rate. 1 meter cubed is 1 million centimeters cubed. So let's do two questions. Convert 5 meters cubed into centimeters cubed. Well, if you want to go from meters into cubed into centimeters cubed, we're going to multiply by a million. So we're going to times 5 by a million. So it's going to be 5 million centimeters cubed. Okay, and let's do another one. Convert 2,400,000 centimeters cubed into meters cubed. Well, here you want to go from centimeters cubed into meters cubed, so we're going to divide by a million. So dividing this by a million would be 2.4 meters cubed. So that's it. So the main thing to remember is that 1 meter cubed is 1 million centimeters cubed. The most common mistake in the exam is people think that 1 meter cubed is 100 centimeters cubed, but obviously that's not going to be true because each of the lengths is going to be, the numbers is times by 100. So whenever you times those three lengths together, it's going to make it 1 million times bigger. So 1 meter cubed is 1 million centimeters cubed. We begin. In this video, we're going to look at calculations involving time. Let's look at some tips. Firstly, there's 60 minutes in an hour. So every time we get to 60, that's going to be another hour. There's 24 hours in a day. And just be careful whenever you're adding times. You don't add them like you add normal numbers. So don't use the column method and try and add times that way. It's easier to consider how many minutes it would take to get to the next hour and so on. So let's have a look at some examples. So a television program starts at 7:45. So 7:45 would be 7:45. It'll last for 25 minutes. So it's going to last for 25 minutes. So to get to the next hour, which would be 8 o'clock, we would add 15 minutes because 7:45, well, then another 10 minutes would be 5 to, and another 5 minutes would be 8 o'clock. So it would take 15 minutes to get to the next hour. And altogether the program lasts for 25 minutes. So that means there's another 10 minutes to go. So another 10 minutes. So the time would be 8:10. Let's just check that. 15 minutes to get to 8 o'clock. Another 10 minutes would be 8:10. And then that means the program altogether has lasted for 25 minutes. So what time does it end? 8:10. So 8:10. You could write that in words, 8:10 if you wanted to, and so on. We don't know if it's AM or PM though. Later there's a film that lasted for 1 hour 50 minutes and a quiz that lasted for 45 minutes. What is the total time for this film and the quiz? So be careful here, we've got hours and we've got minutes. So we've got 1 hour 50 minutes. The easiest way I think to do this question is to change the 1 hour 50 minutes into minutes, add on the quiz minutes to see how many minutes there are in total, and then see how many hours that is. So 1 hour 50 minutes. So 1 hour is 60 minutes and 50 minutes. So altogether, whenever you're adding that up, whenever you add the minutes up, you're going to get 110 minutes. So the film lasts for 110 minutes and the quiz lasts for 45 minutes. So we're going to do 110 minutes plus 45 minutes is equal to 155 minutes. So that means that altogether it's 155 minutes, but the question has given us a box for hours and minutes. So remember, every hour is 60 minutes, so that would be 60, and another 60 would be 120 minutes, but we've got 155. So that means that we've got 1, 2, 3 hours would be 180 minutes. So we don't go up to 3 hours, it's going to be 2 hours, which is 120. And then you've got to get to 55, so from 20 to 55 would be another minutes. So the answer would be 2 hours, 35 minutes. Our next question. A train travelled from London to Plymouth. The journey took 4 hours 27 minutes. The train left London at 1:52 PM or 13:52 hours. What time did it arrive in Plymouth? So we have got 1:52 is whenever the journey began, 1:52. And it took 4 hours 27 minutes. So let's add on our 4 hours. So adding on 4 hours would together bring us up to 17:52. That's adding 4 hours. So that's adding 4 hours, and this brought us to 17:52, or 8 minutes to 6. So we've got another 27 minutes. Well, to get us to the next hour, which is 1800 hours, or 6 o'clock, that would be another 8 minutes. Okay, so we've done 4 hours, 8 minutes. Let's just see how many minutes would be left then. So we've got 27, and we're going to take away the 8 minutes we've added on. So then that would give us 19 minutes. So we've got 19 more minutes. So we add on our 19 minutes, and that would bring us to 18:19, or 19 minutes past 6. Okay, so our technique in this question was to add on the 4 hours first of all. We were then at 17:52. I knew that 27 minutes would bring us past the next hour, so add on 8 minutes to bring us up to 6 o'clock, or 1800 hours, and see how many minutes then that, if we added on 8, see how many minutes that would leave us. That would be 19. So then our answer is 18:19, or 19 minutes past 6 in the evening. Okay, and our last question. This time we've got a timetable, and we've got our bus timetable from Shotton to Alton. And the question says a bus leaves Shotton at 7:30 in the morning. So it's this bus here. Remember, each one of these columns is a bus. So that's bus 1, bus 2, bus 3, bus 4, and bus 5. So each bus goes from Shotton to Crook to Prudhoe to Hexham to Alton. That's bus 1, the next bus, the next bus, the next bus, and the last bus. So it says it leaves Shotton at 7:30. So it's this bus here. Okay, so it leaves here at 7:30. What time does it arrive in Alton? Well, it arrives in Alton at 8:30. Okay, the next question says another bus leaves Prudhoe, so Prudhoe, at 8:28. So that's going to be this time here. So it's this bus here. It says how many minutes should it take to get to Hexham? So it's leaving Prudhoe at 8:28, and it gets to Hexham at 8:45. So it gets there at 8:45. and leaves at 8:28. So we need to see how many minutes it would take to get from 28 minutes past 8 to 45 minutes past 8. So we just need to take away the 28 from the 45. So 45 minus 28 would take us 17 minutes. So the answer is 17 minutes. Okay, and finally, Serena lives in Crook. So she lives in Crook, and she has to be in Hexham by 11:15. What is the time of the latest bus she can catch from Crook to arrive in Hexham by 11:15? See, she lives in Crook, so she can get 5 buses a day from Crook, or 5 buses is part of this timetable. So she can get these 5 buses. She can get it at 7:45, 8:15, 9:15, 10:15, and 11:15. And she needs to be in Hexham, so she needs to get to Hexham, so it's going to be any one of these 5 times she can get to Hexham for. So if she gets this bus, she can get there at 8:15. If she gets this bus, she can get there at 8:45. If she gets this bus, she can get there at 9:45. If she gets this bus, she can get there at 10:45. And if she gets this bus, she can get there at 11:45. Now she needs to be there by 11:15, so that's 11:15. So let's just check. So this one would work. So she could get that one, she could get that one, she could get that one, she could get that one. But she couldn't get this one because that would get her to Hexham by 11:45, so that one's too late. It says what is the latest bus she can get? Well, if she gets a 10:15 bus, she can get there for 10:45. So that's the closest one that would get her there with time to spare, or before the 11:15. So what bus must she catch from Crook, or what is the time of the latest bus she can catch from Crook? It's going to be this bus. So the time of the bus from Crook would be 10:15.
Okay, so you can continue with exercise 1. We have 5 questions for today. And make sure awak buatlah dan faham dengan hari ni punya learning objective. And not to forget, please be ready dengan awak punya come. Make sure you study and be on time. So that's all for today. Assalamualaikum.